Hello, my name is James Alder. I'm a journalism student at Brunel, and I'm here with Neville Watson, the Ukip's prospective parliamentary candidate for the London Borough of Edmonton. Hello, Neville.
Hi, James.
I'd like to start with asking you, in 2010 you ran as an independent MP, and I'm just wondering why you decided for this time round to go for Ukip instead of any other party or independently.
Yeah. The first thing was, as an independent back in 2010, the challenge that I had was explaining to the electorate the role of an independent. The country or the electorate is yet find it quite difficult to grasp what an independent can achieve. So I used to spend a lot of time just explaining the role of an independent, and that would take up a lot of my campaigning time. But the main focus of an independent, and why I will align that to Ukip, it allows you, the independent voice, to represent your constituents. And that to me has always been key. For me, as an MP, my priorities are always the local constituency. And the local constituency for me is Edmonton. I want to represent those voters in Edmonton without fear or favour. That means this: being an MP should stand for Member of Parliament or Member of People before Member of Parliament. More than being a Commons MP, I am a community MP first. Ukip have something quite unique. There are no whips. Within the mainstream parties, they have the whip that basically whips you into place. It means that for any voting that is done, you have to come out and vote with the party, regardless of the impact it may have on your constituents. Ukip, however, allow you to put your constituents first, even before the party. Yeah. So that's one of the main reasons why Ukip. But also, it's important to understand for the listeners here, or viewers, is that within Ukip as well, it aligns itself with many of my core values, and those are some of the things that we will be speaking about, I know, throughout this interview today.
Okay, I was also wanting to just touch on the perception of Ukip as a whole.
Yeah.
And obviously the headline stories and the general impression that Ukip is racist or Ukip is anti-immigration. Yeah. I was just wondering if you had any views on that.
Yeah. Like everyone else, if I'd listened just to headlines and just treated the headlines at face value, I wouldn't vote for Ukip based on those headlines. However, it's more than just the headlines, and I think we need to look underneath the headlines. On immigration. Ukip are not about no immigration, because immigration served this country well for over 50, 60 years. I am a product of that same immigration. My parents came here in the 50s and 60s. But my parents, when they came here, worked 3 jobs to keep us. My mother in particular, my father's no longer here, but my mother paid into this system without taking anything out. And all we're saying is this: in the interest of fairness, if you want to take something out, you should have at least put a little in. So we want immigration, but it has to be controlled. It should be strategic immigration, where it benefits the higher ideals of this country. It should benefit industry, i.e., like Australia, excuse me, where you have the point system. Immigration should be controlled, whereby we bring in those migrants who can help to raise productivity in the country. So is that anti-immigration for wanting controlled strategic immigration? No. Racism. Racism, by the way, is an insidious evil, because what it does, it serves to, I suppose, marginalize and put people into categories. Racism is something that it's been levelled at UKIP. However, it's lazy just to call us racist or to call those good people that have voted UKIP, because that's what it implies. It implies that everyone that votes UKIP are racist. This is not true. And I think what we have to do is understand that without the courage of UKIP, racism today and immigration would not even be on the agenda. It's now in the forefront of politics. So we have to give UKIP credit for taking it away from the far right, because it was hijacked for years, talking about immigration and race. And now we have the Labour and the Conservatives who are now found their voice. They have found courage only on the back of UKIP to discuss it. So those are the reasons, why I'm standing for UKIP.
Right, okay. You spoke about how your MP to stand for for people instead of Parliament, and like you're a community MP, not a Commons one.
Yeah.
So you touched on some of UKIP's national policies.
Yeah.
I was just wondering what about local policies that you're thinking of doing for Edmonton?
Yeah, and go back, because that's the most important for me. Yes, of course, the national picture impacts the local picture, and we have to understand that. But locally, what affects Edmonton locally? Crime, unemployment, housing. These are things that affect the people of Edmonton. Edmonton is a multicultural area. It has a wonderful mix of communities. What we must do, look at the things that affect Edmonton. And number one, recently in Edmonton, we've had a series of murders. Why? Why are young people taking up the knife, the gun, gangs? Are they all bad? That's also simplistic. Let's look at the reasons. Education, boredom, a lack of aspiration. So one of the things that I will certainly be looking at is providing alternative forms of education as well. Education that is, it relates to their daily lives. Yes, we have the academia, but they need to understand life skills, social skills, communication skills, reasoning skills. Schools have to do that. We have to have education that puts away their need to go towards gangs and shows them another direction as well. We need to have mentors, because many of these young people today, I work with, talk about a lack of fathers in their lives. So one of the things that I'll be doing is providing mentors into the community. 100 mentors in 2015 will go into the community. Also for the boredom, the Edmonton Community Card. I'll be launching an Edmonton Community Card that will be funded by local business. And how it will work, it will allow the under 21s to use leisure facilities, community facilities, free of charge in off-peak hours. Also, it will allow them to buy fresh, healthy produce as well. Because I believe nutritionally, if the nutrition's right, it affects their behaviour. So they'll be able to buy vegetables, fruits, water during lunch times at a reduced rate with the Edmonton Community Card. Also at Edmonton Community Card, we're going to provide walks. We're going to provide the Edmonton Walk, Lee Valley Walk, where once a month, all those members will join me on a monthly walk through Lee Valley to look at the conservation. So that's something that we will be doing, and I will be really, I suppose I'm passionate about health, nutrition, fitness as well. So for Edmonton is improving the well-being of Edmonton.
Okay. Well, I thank you very much for this interview, and I wish you luck with your campaign.
Thank you very much, Thane.